This video is part 2 of exponents and scientific notation. So we had already discussed in the last video the 4 rules of exponents that are discussed in this lesson. We're going to continue looking at these rules of exponents. So in this third example, we want to simplify -4 to the 0 power. So a rule of the exponents is whatever base you have raised to the 0 power, you get 1. So whatever base, which in this case is -4, we have raised to the 0 power, we know that our solution is going to be 1. So simple as that. It doesn't matter what's inside those parentheses. Anytime we have it raised to the 0 power, we get 1. So let's look at another example. So this time I have -3 to the 0 power. One thing I need to point out here, as opposed to the last example, notice this -3 is not in parentheses like it was in the last example. So we need to make sure we understand how this is written. So I'm able to actually rewrite this as -1 times 3 to the 0 power. These are exact same, just different way of writing them. Most of the time we don't put the -1 times that in there. That's why we just have the -3. Now we need to use the properties or the rules of the exponents. So now we're going to we have that -1 out front. And then we have 3 to the 0 power. Remember, any base to the 0 power becomes 1. So that 3 to the 0 power becomes 1. And then we have -1 times 1, which is equal to -1. So my answer in this case, -3 to the 0 power, is -1. Again, please notice the major difference between notation-wise here, between this problem and the last. The last problem we were doing the whole quantity -4 to the 0 power. In this case, if we follow order of operations, we do exponents first, which is 3 to the 0, and then we put in that -1. All right, one more quick example to look at here. I have 8x to the 0 power plus 1. Again, please realize here what the 0 power is attached to. The 0 power is just attached to the x. It's not attached to the whole 8x. It's just attached to the x. So again, just to make sure this is clear, I'm going to rewrite this as 8 times x to the 0 power. But then I have my plus 1. Now again, we use these properties of exponents. Any value or any base raised to the 0 power gives me 1. So really here I have 8 times 1. But then I have my plus 1. Again, simple math. 8 times 1 is 8. 8 plus 1 is 9. So if I'm trying to simplify 8x to the 0 power plus 1, I get 9.